we can set up here and kind of bring us back to where we were at for last time, which had a shocking revelation and thrilling conclusion. So last time, our intrepid heroes went about doing some more preparations, and they found that they had spies in their midst. And as a result of that, some revelations came, and it was real that Jan the Ugly was going to attack, or at least make a raid for the egg. And Sheng Lu Po, and his sneaky cleverness, and his clever sneakiness, managed to create a egg bomb device. And so when they did show up, spoiling for a fight, they exchanged a giant explosive that was shot with a new cannon that Yazi managed to create. And as a result, exploded. So Lieutenant Gray is unconscious or something. You're not sure. He's laying on the ground bleeding. Jan the Ugly is limped away with some of the mercenaries, and the culverin or light cannon was left behind. Oh no! So before we get to what happens next, let's start with Yazi. Who are you, and what are your goals?
I am Yazi, the Wolf Dragon Artisan. My personality is confident. My motto is all will be revealed. I currently have the goals of make a pact with the Shang Zhu, uncover, defeat the Firestrike Gang, and defeat the mercenaries.
We might be getting close to that. Next up we have is Tamrajin.
Yes, Tamerjin. I'm the Spider Mare. And actions speak louder than words.
They certainly do. And next up is Sheng Lu Po.
Hello. I'm Sheng Lu Po, the Weasel Slinky Boy. My motto is, it's not that the well is too deep, it's that the rope is too short, and I have, I believe, the same goal.
And next up is Lu Wei, our gigantic tiger man.
I am Lu Wei, the Tiger Slaver, whose motto is I can move mountains, whose mottos are to discover the mystery of the egg, to eliminate the Firestrike Gang, and to eliminate the mercenaries.
And last but not least, we have Ning.
Hello, I'm playing Ning, the Kirin Sword Dancer. Her motto is for the glory, and her goals are essentially the same as everybody else's.
Okay, well, when we last saw our heroes, of course, there was that deafening explosion. You can feel the force of the explosion take place. The ground is now a smoldering crater, with a couple of people still struggling to life. But the group appears to have broken. And of course, Tamrajin is got shot herself.
Yes, she definitely is looking at retreating, but she sees that they've just up and left the cannon.
I mean, that's good.
Means.
Free
Yeah.
cannon.
Yes.
For Yazi, because he has self-interest.
So she's going to order her men to get that get that mercenary there. He's still moving a little bit, and get
We
the cannon.
definitely need to try and keep Captain Gray alive and as a prisoner, because he might be a bargaining chip, at least for the mercenaries.
Oh, absolutely. Tamara's already on that thought line.
Should we send anyone after the injured who escaped?
Well, you might have to ask Tamara when she hobbles back.
Well, does anybody decide to go chasing after them?
What's the landscape like?
How many escaped? Like 3, 4, 5, somewhere.
Well, there were 4 that assisted Ugly Jan, and then there were 2 snipers. So in total, there's about 6 mercenaries.
6 mercenaries and Jan himself, who is injured but still standing.
Yep.
So they just left the cannon behind?
They did.
It's not easy to retreat with a cannon.
I am amazed, because the cannon itself is worth quite a lot of.
I know, we did a good job scaring them away. Yeah, I think we need like a force if we were to chase after them because the ones who escaped included the gunners. So
Mm-hmm.
I only asked what the landscape was like because the light cannon that we're prepping to refire has extreme range. So
Okay. Yeah. No, it's a flat kind of river valley, so you have to go for a while in order to get or go further north to get into the hills, and so they're heading back up the road by the river.
now we have, well, and by we mean Yazi has 2 cannons to blow people up at extreme range.
So I don't suppose there are any complications in taking the 2 things back with us.
You mean 2 things? How do you mean?
The mercenaries on the ground in the cannon.
Well, uh, 2 mercenaries are still left alive. First one is Captain Gray. His plate mill is badly damaged and full of shrapnel. He's bleeding from the ears and face, and he stirs when footsteps approach him, but he's kind of moves around a little bit and then falls to his side and passes out. The other mercenary is flat out dying, so unless anybody decides to stabilize him, he will bleed out.
Right, Tamara can't exactly do that herself, I don't think. She doesn't have like a first aid kit on her or anything. At least I'm pretty sure.
I mean, we have some
Clearly, I
town
should
guards
try
with
with my
us.
D4 and mine dice.
Professor will help.
I will punch him.
We'll strip them of their weapons, take them back to our whatever we use for holding cells, and we can have the doctor look
My
at them if he's still
basement.
alive.
We'll fight cancer. We couldn't find cancer, but we could find someone with cancer. Fighting around the world.
So as far as like each one of the mercenaries was wearing chainmail, but that chainmail is now like ripped to the mercenaries had the worst of the blast, so they're basically in chunks. Their weapons are also very badly damaged. If you spent some more time searching, you might be able to find the components or pieces, or maybe even mostly intact parts. But based upon just it's like a smoldering crater right now.
Right, Tamara isn't interested in looting them as much as seeing if they're alive and taking them back.
oh, but I am though. What are the state of the fusils?
Well,
Yeah, he's gonna step out is the real question.
make a searching check then.
Hold on, let's see. Shit. Can I have my? Oh wait. Okay. Here's a question: is the battle declared over?
Technically, yes, although you could still continue to fire on them if you truly wanted to.
No, I'm only asking because would my men be able to stand down and come out there and
Yes, they could.
scrape the fields? Okay. So, and then some more from the fields. How about searching? Searching a better roll?
Yep. Searching would do it. Mind and searching.
Okay.
Well, with one success, you are able to find a fusil that you think you could repair.
Just one? Alright.
Just one.
Are we cool with stripping Lieutenant Gray of his damaged plate mail?
I feel like that's kind of a.
Well, what do you do?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's
but-
just like, okay, where you? So you can take it, you can drag him off the field, but are you dragging him back to the mayor's house?
Yeah, I guess he's going to where we hold prisoners.
Right, but I mean, you're not going to leave him with his weapons and
No,
armor,
so
right?
that's all you.
Okay.
Nothing that can be used as a weapon, including like a breastplate full of shrapnel.
Ah, that shrapnel embedded in your chest. That could be a weapon.
I mean, just the heavy metal object do some damage. So yeah, he just gonna be in his in his skivvies. Our prisoner. Now, I have an out of character question. Did this did this all go down before Shumei was able to leave the village?
She left shortly before this took place, if I'm not mistaken, like half a day.
Hmm. Well, I'm guessing she managed to slip by them.
But yeah, as far as Lieutenant Gray and the other guy's armor is pretty much gone. But both as far as like items on them, you could take off his plate mail. It would also require a lot of repair. But each of them, they do have a pistol apiece that seems to have mostly escaped the damage.
They have.
So one for the mercenary and one for Lieutenant Gray.
2 pistols, got it. Also, you're talking to the person who would be repairing the plate mail, so...
Yes, but we're talking like the center part is cracked and, it's got
If you had to
probably
give it a percentage,
several...
how much percentage do you say would still be there?
Maybe 30%.
Which is still cheaper than making it new.
Yeah, it's badly in a really bad state, but yeah. But when you take Lieutenant Gray back to the mayor's estate, he kind of rolls in and out of consciousness. He's bleeding from at least 24 wounds, but he's a tough old squirrel and isn't, he's got scars on him, and so who's going to try to give him medical aid?
I mean, I do have a doctor on my employee.
Considering that we've pretty much had the Father Pier set up with a triage not that far from where we expected to have a battle, maybe we should get them to him?
Yes, please, bring Father Pierre. Have him come to me first, please. Says Tamara, who looks none the better than the lieutenant.
Okay. Well, you just have one shot through you, but yes, I guess in that case, you can bring him over to Brother Pierre's stable that he's kind of converted into a miniature hospital. And he will immediately see like the lieutenant and the kind of the nameless mercenary. It's like, oh my goodness, it's starting already. Okay. And Tamara, of course, is close to follow. Tamara, since you are so injured this badly, he will say, oh, let us pray, my child. Let us pray to Heloise.
If Heloise can close wounds, I'll be happy for that.
That's one success, and you also have your will.
Oh, yes, I sure do. Let's see. Will is still a D8, isn't it? Sure is. 1d8. 6. Aha. I have lots of will. A will to live.
Well, shit.
My 6 is better.
Your 6 is better, so you have one success.
Yeah, so you recover from hurt.
Let's see. That would just be one of the red ones, wouldn't it?
Yep. You're still injured.
Okay.
Um.
Not scared anymore because that's over with.
Mm-hmm.
I am sick. Was orange. Reeling?
Purple, I think, was reeling.
You basically lose everything but whatever the sick one is and the injured.
Right, we'll say the orange is sick then, because purple isn't. Alright, I just injured and sick.
Meanwhile, I'm going to stroll over to the cannon and see what I can scrounge up or around.
Okay. Well, the cannon, it seems like, is at least a couple centuries old. It's pretty yeah, it's seen better days. The metal is a little bit chipped and scuffed. It looks like it's probably been used many times over. It's still mostly functional, but certainly it looks like it could either misfire or something could go wrong with it. You're not sure where this came from, but it does not have the mark that you have seen on the armor from the mercenaries.
I have a little bit of academics and I have tactics. Maybe I can deduce something about this.
Sure. Mind and academics would be a good start.
I have a success.
Okay. Well, with one success, you're not really certain what this symbol is, but you know it's probably it's regional enough in this area. So maybe it has something to do with the former kingdom. Maybe it has something to do with something foreign. You're not sure where it comes from, but it is probably not from the main, manufactories or whatever in Zhangwao.
Yes, does not have the Empire's Middle Kingdom's crest on it.
Yep, exactly.
Meanwhile, then I am going to climb on it and pose dramatically.
Yeah, and then my guys are gonna shoo you off of it. Budra and Neon, they've already pulled it back to get repaired.
Hey, I was here first already.
Literally, we just had a whole conversation of having my men go out there, search, and bring stuff back. Also, I have salvage rights and everything in this town as a pre-existing thing with the mayor, as Sheng Lupo said already. It's one of the reasons why I sell everything so cheap.
You guys are no fun.
I'm just very defensive against my agreements, that's all. The only thing that's keeping me going. So yes, no riding on the damaged cannon.
There's no riding the what? No, please do not ride the bomb.
Don't whiz on the electric fence.
Don't whiz on the electric fence. Anyway, so yes, the cannon's one of the wheels is kind of broken, so it kind of doesn't move very easily. And you can tell that it's off weight and what have you. But yeah, you bring it back into the as after Tamra is healed, the Brother Pierre does his best with Lieutenant Gray, who seems to be something he's just unconscious. He's not of it. He's Tamra, are you checking up on him or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm in the same building as him. I'm waiting for him to be conscious.
Okay. Well, you could wake him up the harsh way, which is to take a bucket of water and just splash his face.
Well, there's a nice cold river over there, and a nice empty bucket over here, and a face that's just begging for it, so that's a good way to introduce myself.
Okay. Well, you water bucket him, and he kind of jolts awake, and reaches for a sword that's not there, reaches for a gun that's not there, and realizes, oh shit, I'm not in my armor anymore, and he tries to back off away from you.
Guards? And they will just, like, step forward, weapons already at the ready.
Sure, and they'll point spears at him to keep him still.
Now, we could just tie you up and throw you into, the basement. But I thought it'd be nice if we had a little talk first.
He kind of glares up at you and says, oh, that was a cute little trick.
Cute maybe isn't the word I'm going to use for it today. I'll have some words about it later with someone else. I need people to stop telling me to do stupid things like that.
You do realize now Song Mei is not even going to stop. He's going to burn the whole town now. He took his cannon. He's not going to like that.
Well, that makes it and you a decent bargaining tool then, doesn't it?
He's not going to bargain with you, you stupid bint. He's going to come down here and burn this village to the ground.
Well then, before he gets here, how about you start telling me what he's bringing? You don't
He's
have very
bringing...
many options left to you. You ought to cooperate. And
Not
that is
very-
going to be my scare tactic, because it is tinged with, innumerable possible threats.
Okay, roll them bones.
I'm gonna hit
but-
the scare button, if that's okay.
Okay. Well, with 4 successes, you do make him afraid, but this is a fellow who is used to being afraid, and is almost, in fact, rather brave most of the time, who kind of, like, realizes that he's in a horrible pickle, but he still tries to steel himself up against you and says, do you want to know what's coming? At least 50 armed veterans are coming. I don't know about the mercenaries. If I saw Jan right now, I'd shoot him in his ugly face. If any of them decide to come down here, well, I don't know.
Well, Jan does seem to be a bit dense, doesn't he?
He kind of, he doesn't say a single word.
But he's the one paying you, though, isn't he?
Yes.
Well, now more than ever might be a good time to renege on your contract with him.
It doesn't work that way, hon.
Oh? Enlighten me, then.
See, I work for a boss who, if I went back and said, well, I didn't feel like finishing out the contract, she'd shoot me in the...
Well, if Jan's not around to tell anyone, what does it matter, then?
She'll find out. She always does.
Just breathing deeply here for a moment. I'm thinking, let's see, that number, 50 veterans, does that actually match the information we got earlier?
Well, the gang itself, let me check my notes. In total is about 55 people, although it's been reduced down, especially with Shumei kind of defecting a little bit.
Mhm.
There might be just only about 40 of them.
Right. I'm just trying to think how this all fits into our plans and how this goes. I think our plan was that they weren't going to attack together, that Jan was going to take his contingent and split them up, wasn't they? Or at least we
Well-
thought that.
I mean, that kind of already happened.
He might be
You go
very
back-
angry and go straight for another counterattack.
Well-
this is just rattling off in my head here.
Hopefully he'll take some time to lick his wounds.
See, if I were you, I'd run back to Roljiang.
I'm not about to abandon this city or these people.
How cute. Or
So,
this.
why does your boss want in on this conflict? What is she getting out of this anyway?
I don't know. All I know is that she took this contract with Jan, and Jan knows somebody in Roljiang. I don't know.
Who does he know? Like a
Uh,
name.
his eyes kind of flit to that, like, I know a name, but oh shit, I can't say.
Then I'll give you two choices. Either a choice of defecting, or a choice of giving me the name. One of them is less likely to be learned.
Look, there's only one place I could go, and that's Calabria. I doubt
Wow.
Fume would be able to get all the way back there. But you don't have that in your power to do.
Perhaps not me personally, but I know a friend, and I know I could always cash a favor or two with him. Tell me what I want to know, and I will get you a ticket far away from here.
See, the thing about that is, um, any of my men that's left alive will also meet. They'll be put. I'm responsible for all of them too. It's not just that simple. Unless you can guarantee somehow all of them send us back all the way to the Bisclaveret lands. I'm not bargaining with you.
It is a tough bargain, isn't it? So, this is a negotiation then.
Okay?
So he wants me to do that. It's hard to really negotiate that price down. But maybe I could bargain him to do more for the price he's asking for.
All right. Well, what skills do you have in negotiating something like this?
Well, gee, I sure am a fast talker, aren't I?
Okay.
Let's see. I could perhaps say that I am nobility and I can get things done.
Okay. You can add that.
And I think that might be all that applies.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a look at negotiation. If we're doing my negotiation, that'd be 2d8 and a d6. And then the 2d12s. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He has 2 successes to your 4. So you seem to negotiate this pretty well, where you say, well, I have these allies I could draw upon. I'm of nobility, even if it's a small nobility, to guarantee this, and I do know a ship and whatever. And he says, he kind of seriously starts to consider it. He's like, oh, crap. I need some time to consider this.
Well, we have a good few places for you to sit around while you wait. We can't exactly have you running off. But take your time. Think about it. There might not be a whole lot left. And that's... when she says that, that's not a threat. That's more resignation.
Okay. Well, he will, I guess if you put him in the basement, down with all the rats,
Mm-hmm.
and his wounded friend who finally recovers conscious, but he's in really bad shape.
Yup.
And I think there's already a mercenary down there. So, yeah, there's at
Yeah,
least
we
3.
have... Yeah, there's several mercenaries, this guy, all the rats. I'm gonna need, our slaver to take care of this eventually, honestly. This is more than my basement can handle.
Yeah, you're running out of space.
We need a proper detention center.
proper
That assumes a long-term need, which is kind of funny to consider.
proper dungeon. So, in the meantime, what else? What is everybody else up to?
Back to work.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna help where I can, but I don't think there's anything in particular that I need to do.
A couple of the houses on the outskirts there were damaged. Like their walls are covered in bits of metal and whatnot. So far, it seems like the fire hasn't started yet, which is good. But the peasants are kind of all going a little bit stir crazy and trying to. Oh, everybody wants to kind of look at what happened. Whoa! Check out that cool black hole in the ground now. And then there, of course, are those who are going to bury the dead.
We didn't have much dead on our side yet, have we?
I don't think we had any.
There's just like the handful of people who exploded around the cart.
Mm-hmm.
You were the closest to being our side's dead.
Yes, I was. And I'll do it again.
Yeah, you probably will.
Just
Battle mare.
you know, remember that you don't have that combat save right now, so.
Oh,
know.
yep, that's still burned.
Because
One of the soldiers suggests that we cut the heads off of them and put them on pikes to scare them. Do you allow for that?
I don't care.
that's on the
who,
mayor.
Me? No.
Okay.
That might be the wrong tactic given the talks I've been having.
Okay. So the day rolls over into night, and night, or it was pretty much late afternoon and early night. And if nobody objects, it'll be the next.
Indeed. The only thing I would do is I would talk to Yazi about the cannon and where to place it. I would suggest down the river, where the archer embankment is, over by first position.
Sorry, hold on, one sec. I was already in the midst of my paperwork for day changing. Where are we at? Where are we looking?
You're always smothered in paperwork, Yazi.
Always.
You're gonna turn
I think
into a
I'll
book
eat-
at this rate.
Well, I mean, I also have a boat that's supposed to come in today. That also puts me 10 days away from having to pay Tor. Oh, I'm sorry, Lu Wei. Anyway, where were you looking?
Over at 1 on the far right side of the map.
Nope, that's a horrible place. A cannon is an extreme range item with a long reload time. You don't want to put it in the front line. That's a bad call.
But if it's closer to the action, then
Doesn't-
it could get a more accurate shot off immediately.
That's what I'm indicating, though, is that it is a extreme range weapon. It doesn't have to be there. It can get more shots off if it's further away from the action.
Do you have all the men you need to load them both efficiently?
Yes.
Good. And I'll leave you to it then.
Is that all?
Well, that'll be all for now.
Very well. For some reason, I thought maybe I was one of those people who talked about tapping for the boat.
Alright.
If we're just doing end of the day things, I'll use the rest of the day to check on the locals and make sure everyone's okay and didn't,
Well,
have any unforeseen damages.
as far as like morale goes, people are now starting to be cautiously optimistic. If you could stand up against the mercenaries and kill a bunch of them without even, they had guns, and yet we had a bigger explosion, and we might survive. You think we could survive?
I mean, we have more cannons than we had the first time around. Twice as many.
100% more.
So, you know, we're gonna be pretty well defended for a village of this size.
As for Ning, are you still seeing the doctor because you're hurt?
Considering that I am sick and injured, yes, I should.
Okay.
Oh, you're not sick, Tamara.
Oh, I thought I also was because I almost died.
No, we figured out that it's not, you don't get sick, you're just injured. So good news, only injured.
Yay! I'm better off than I thought. It was just a fake cold, guys.
Merely psychosomatic. That boy needs therapy. Okay. Well, if you go into the doctor's office, you can certainly get a checkup and get the mark. But only one towards your injury quota.
Okay. I'm just accounting for food and bed rests otherwise.
Ning, while you're at the doctor's office, you kind of check up on Muraich, and she's tossing and turning, almost like she's having a nightmare, even though she's kind of been in a coma for several days.
Can I check up on her? I have supernatural if it's...
Yes, you may. Do a mine and supernatural. With one success, your mind flits back to that tree that seems to be growing, and you can see that, at least on Muraich, it seems like fresh cuts on her body that are oozing blood, and your mind flits back to the tree.
Question. Can I get a favorite use for supernatural?
Sure. What would you use it for?
I'm not sure. I mean,
You could say blessed magic.
okay, that sounds good. I mean, I don't know it's blessed magic theoretically. Oh wait, I'm
True.
sorry. I already have favorite use for supernatural. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I think I'm going for a detour to that strange tree.
Okay. It's right outside the tea house, and it's certainly bigger, but you can see that the trunk has several pieces of metal lodged into it.
I see. Can I possibly remove them?
You sure can. What sort of are you trying to use it with brute force, or are you trying to be a little bit delicate about it?
I would consider being delicate about it.
Okay. Then in that case, do let's see, do it just straight speed check.
All right, speed is something I'm actually good at.
Okay. So you are ginger enough to remove the pieces, and when you do, you can almost see a light brown sap kind of gently trickle out of them. If you were a little too rough, you could have cut the sensitive flesh, bark, whatever, a little bit more. But you spend the next hour or so kind of picking them out, and as a result, the sap kind of dribbles and slows down.
All right. Also, I am sure that our friendly industrialist will enjoy a little bit more metal to work.
Yes, there is. People are finding all sorts of random pieces of metal and glass and nails and stuff
And teeth
all
and
over the
skull.
place. Yeah, bits of chunks. Yeah. But do you go back to check up on Murai?
Yes, please.
Okay. She seems much more placid. She's not moving around, and she kind of went back to her more calm and peaceful state. You can still see that there are cuts on her body where there didn't seem to be earlier, but they're no longer.
Since you cut out, I believe you were saying that
Oh.
they no longer bleed, yes?
Yes, they're no longer bleeding.
All right, that's good news.
She, thus far has been unconscious, and you're pretty much the only person who remembers her, apart from the doctor, who I guess feeds her mush or something every day.
I am hoping that she will come out of it pretty soon.
Do you have any sort of supernatural that might be able to assist you, or think of something you might be able to help?
I have a mind, a academics, and some supernatural.
Okay. Well, you can roll them.
All three?
Sure. Well, with one success, you kind of stop and think that, oh, this is really strange and foreign magic. It seems as though it's probably something that originated from her home continent of Calabria, and something that involves that tree. But beyond that, you can't really think of anything. You kind of are drawing a blank.
Yep, that is no surprise. All right, I guess I will go and go back to the tea house for the day or for the night.
Okay. So you, of course, entertain as best as you can. What is everybody else?
This is the new day, right?
It's a new day.
And my boat has most literally come in.
My boat has finally come in.
What's on the boat, Yazi?
Oh, it's Jinza, Lucian, and Fei Hong returning from Ruojiang.
Did they get us presents?
No. What did they come back with? GM?
They did come back with a contract.
What does it say?
With whatever it is, favorable contracts for when you with the note that was sent out. So yeah, they're willing to.
So I've got dockside shop rental.
You can do that.
Okay. I don't suppose my guy has come back yet from his long-term messenger program, has he?
Roll a d12. Well, you don't see him, no, but your men do recall saying, like, yeah, you seem to be moving pretty fast and making good time.
Wait, who says that?
I thought it was on one of your men who came back.
No. My messenger is the one who's going off to negotiate with the Shangzhou.
Oh, okay. Well, then in this case,
My Shangzhou.
no, he's not back yet. So,
Yeah, because that's my starter goal. My gimme goal. Not my gimme goal, but you know what I mean. My starter goal.
yeah. Oh,
It
shit.
just
Well,
takes
you know,
no, I know. It's just taking forever because you have to go by boat very long ways.
right. But the currents, at least, are seem to be in good favor or good speed. There haven't been any storms.
No, I was just thinking because you said somebody was saying he's making good time. I was like, wait a second. The only one who would know he's making good time is him. There's no
Right.
other way for him to communicate back to me. So
I was thinking more
when he's here.
when they last saw him. It's like, yeah, no, he was taking it seriously and not, sitting around and waiting. And the roads seemed to be clear, and so do the rivers. So I guess that's the best news that we could ask for instead of getting, rained and having delays and things like that. Circumstances are positive, let's say.
Right. Well, that's the only big thing on my schedule for today.
Oh, well, I do have a prisoner to check in on and see if he's had time to think.
Okay. Well, Lieutenant Gray spent the day kind of thinking it over and says, there is one thing I could do. I could fly a specific type of flag, which would be an indication to my men that they should immediately leave and head for a rendezvous point. If I leave, and the people I have here now, if we left, we could meet them there. We're all injured, so we can't travel as quickly. But if we put the flag up, they would abandon the contract, and we would have to leave once reaching that rendezvous point at that, within a day. Who do you know specifically, and how would you communicate to them?
I'm not entirely sure. Right now, I'm working with Yazi, and I'm hoping that, given his propensity to continue to go back to Rosang, he might be able to forge a connection for me.
That's it? I thought you had somebody in mind.
I'm afraid I don't ship things out to Calabria very often myself. I only have a singular friend out there, in his house, but I haven't been able to speak with him in some time. He used to say he could mentally communicate with people, but I don't know how that works.
He raises his arms in frustration and anger and says, if I still could use my guns, I would shoot you myself. He does not seem pleased with you. So it looks like that's a no.
Oh, that's unfortunate. In that case, I only have a couple more questions for him today, then.
He just glares at you wordlessly.
How far behind was Songwei at this time?
Eat shit.
Did the other mercenary survive?
I just give him the glare. It's like, this is not your position right now.
Yeah,
I've been more than generous in offering what I can possibly do. There's nothing more I can give. So shut up and behave, and answer my questions.
he spits at you.
Does he react to the scare check? Or does that just not work? Ah, we're both
He's
scary people.
he puffs his chest out and matches it, and you try to put the screws to him, but he just spits at you.
Well, Temujin's going to have to leave, and she just straightens herself up and heads up the stairwell and kind of gives one last glance to him. You might be down here for a very long time, then.
Oh, a lot
Or-
shorter than you think.
And this is the point where she needs to figure out what type of flag that is. Quickly.
Well,
He
we
gave
have
it
another.
away.
We have another prisoner we can ask.
So this comes down to emergency time meeting. Quick, what do we know about flags and mercenaries? What kind of knowledge would that require? Or would that just be entirely insider?
Well, that would certainly be an academic knowledge, but given the specificity of it, you're going to need at least 4 successes to figure out what it is.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here going, I wonder if I could get 2 successes. Well, I do have my scribe, and he has some academics. I have some academics. Yazi has some academics, if I can go ask him.
I think
Maybe
it
we
would
could
just be
take the
better.
town's smartest individuals and go, what sort of flag would a Calabrian mercenary company fly?
I think it would
A
be better.
yellow one, right?
I think it would be better to just ask one of the other mercenaries because all of them have to know this symbol.
That is true, and I do have other mercenaries, so I could have one of the guards go fetch one of them and question them next.
Oh, well, they're all locked up together.
Well,
Yeah,
this
with
is
the-
true. They were there, but at the very least, maybe I could draw one out and
Take them
offer
upstairs.
a
just like-
specific deal with them and see if that will work.
Okay, well, there's 2 mercenaries there. One of them is less injured by comparison.
That's the one who was here longer with the wolf, right?
That's right.
Alright, you know what? I'll take him, because he's less in the know about other things. He doesn't actually know a whole lot. But he'll know the
Well,
flags.
if he's been down there with them, I'm sure he's caught up to speed. Because it sounds like you've just been putting them all in the basement.
Yeah, this is awfully true. Well, let's go capture another mercenary, everyone.
But yeah,
it
you
wouldn't
could,
hurt to try and intimidate some of the other 2 if it doesn't work.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and pull him out and try to intimidate him next. Or, well, no, I'm making him an offer.
One that he can't refuse.
But yes, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Your captain is not so cooperative, but perhaps you would be.
Are you completely insane? Like, are you legitimately crazy?
Your death is almost assured if you stay in that basement and they come here.
And it's
care nothing for
absolutely
yourself.
guaranteed if I try to abandon my post.
And what would they have left once we win?
Well, if the contract fails, then it's a failed contract. That's it. Fine. Contracts fail all the time. Fumai will probably just want her equipment back. But if we try to leave and dereliction of duty and all of that or what have you, they will find us. And they will do unspeakable things to us unless we get off of this continent. And unless you can guarantee me that, which it sounds like you couldn't do with Lieutenant Gray, There is nothing you can say to me, nothing you can do to intimidate me. You have no power. Killing me would be less stressful.
Ah, damn, there's no headway I can make here.
Do you have any... She literally pours boiling metal into people's eyes.
You want to tag me in? I have one tactic that might work.
Tag in.
Alright. So, I guess Yazi is going to pedal his way in, the hands behind his back as he always does, to this, whatever shouting match is currently going on. And let's say, Lieutenant Gray could not be guaranteed because Lieutenant Gray wanted to vouch for the safety of all of his men, and we, however, can only vouch for the safety of one man. Now, if you want to be that one man, we would be more than willing to pay your entire expenses back to Calabria, and then a little bit more, perhaps. However, we will not pay for all of you.
You're asking me to sell out my friends?
For your own safety, yes. Or you can die along with them. It matters not to me. I am simply a merchant.
I'll sweeten the deal a little more. I know a friend in Calabria, a wizard, I believe a noble as well. I can write you a letter of introduction. Undoubtedly, you will be set for as long as you stay there.
And all I have to do is sell my soul.
Yes.
I mean, you're a mercenary. Don't you do that for a living?
He looks horrifically torn now. I'm not a bad person.
Not for us to decide.
He seems completely shocked.
Leave your moral quandaries to life after this one. I'm only concerned with here and now. So, we need a yes or a no. Otherwise, you can go back downstairs. And maybe the next one will be more willing to go back home again.
Oh, prisoner's dilemma now. He kind of wrings his hands together and says, and you can guarantee it, right?
I have the power of money, and money guarantees everything.
He wrings his hands again and says, Eloise will cast me into the darkest pits of fire, but I have to get out. Fine. He says, hanging his head low.
Then, what color is the flag?
I can draw it for...
She'll take some parchment and some paper. She has plenty of it.
So he'll draw a flag that has like a couple white slashes and a couple X's and whatever. But yeah, it's fairly simple, but it's also, okay, no, this one has to be like that and that one has to be like that.
Interesting. Complicated little code.
Oh, I've just killed all my friends.
Meanwhile, in the back of my head, I'm just going, man, this is a terrible dick move. We gotta find another way. I was almost happy to fail for a little bit.
But if that flag is flying, the mercenaries know to leave and go to a rendezvous.
So after we get this information, I want to look at Yazi, and I want to ask him some questions. How do you plan to get him to Calabria? And how many people could you send there?
How many? As probably as I wanted.
As many as you wanted?
Probably as many as I'd want to. boat trips are rented in singular. So the amount of stuff that you actually pile onto the boat is irrelevant. So long as I pay for the entire boat, it goes where I want.
Then I don't suppose you could pull through on the initial bargain with the lieutenant. He wanted the
didn't.
safety of all of his men.
Right, but I didn't make that bargain.
This is true. I was hoping I could convince him himself. But nonetheless, I feel I do not want to simply send these men to their death at the hand of some harpy.
Could keep them as prisoners for now.
Arguably, you did not. The one that hired them and then sent them to attack us did. To them, they are already dead.
I will deal with her in time. But these men don't simply deserve death.
Do they not? They came to kill us.
They are.
This is true, but I like to occasionally think I'm better than other people.
Yes, you do.
Oh, you do?
And as you said, it already only costs you the initial cost of the boat. And if it's already there, you could send as many as you please.
No, here's the part where, out of character, I would love to say yes if I was going to pay for them. But at the other side, I am a businessman and I only have my word to stand on. So if I didn't pay for them, nobody would respect me anymore.